Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Namaskaram, and welcome to every one of you who has been joining me on this month-long journey of sadhana, Dhanur Dhya sadhana, brought to you daily through the month of Margashirsha by the Krishnamacharya Yoga. Let me start with the traditional invocation. Shri Krishna Vagishayatishwarabhyam सम्प्राप्तचक्राङ्कणभाष्यसारम् श्रीनूत्नरङ्गेन्द्रयतौ समर्पितस्वं श्रीकृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमीडे विरोधे कार्तिके मासे शतताराकृतोदयम् योगाचार्यं कृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमहं भजे कृष्णसूरीदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्देऽहं योगदेशिकम् Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. December 21st, 2024. From today, every year, the UN has declared that it would observe this day, the longest night in the Northern Hemisphere, as the International Day of Meditation. It is widely known that since 2015, International Day of Yoga has been observed on 21st of June, the longest day, celebrated worldwide with millions participating. In this context, I think it is important for us to reflect on this announcement itself. There seem to be now 2 days, one for yoga, one for meditation. And this raises the question, isn't yoga meditation? Sadly, it seems to be that increasingly the practice of yoga has been conflated primarily with the practice of asana, of postures, static and dynamic, symmetric and asymmetric, woven together in sequences as per the different sampradayas. And it is this physical practice of asana that, for the most part, comes to the fore on International Day of Yoga, to some lesser extent, perhaps pranayama. But what we don't seem to realize or ought to realize is that yoga is dhyanam. The very definition of yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. The word nirodha can be understood as restraint or cessation. Both interpretations are valid. As Sri Desikacharya says, yoga is the ability to exclusively direct the mind towards one chosen object, to sustain this attention without distraction for a certain period of time. What is this if it is not meditation? To direct the mind and to let it hold on to the object that it has chosen. Nirodha as cessation speaks of the ultimate goal of yoga, nirpija samadhi, state that transcends thought, leading to the eventual dissolution of the mind itself, where Purusha stands in glorious isolation as in its own true nature. Krishnamacharya in the Yogavali is also very emphatic when he derives the word yoga. He says, yoga is associated with samadhi. Yoga, according to the Amarakosha, is also translated as dhyanam, a continuous thought process linked to one object. Further, he says there need not be any confusion in this regard, because dhyanam is the cause, samadhi is the outcome, and yoga is this entire process of meditation. Which brings us to this question then, why a separate day of meditation? Isn't yoga meditation? This is something we must reflect on. And I think it is important for teachers, for practitioners, for yoga enthusiasts across the world to reclaim the sadhana roots of yoga. Yoga is not merely about the physicality of the postures that we do. Yoga essentially is a science of the mind. The Yoga Sutra shows us the pathway to developing a mind, great resilience, to empower ourselves from within so that we can reach the highest potential that the human mind possibly can. In this pathway, meditation, dhyanam, samyama becomes key. There are various other traditions of meditation that have been celebrated over the years, and perhaps International Day of Meditation is also a way of honoring these traditions. But as we do so, let us not forget that yoga is dhyanam, and that these practices of meditation predate the Yoga Sutra. They go back several millennia. The very mantras of the Rig Veda were revealed to the rishis in the deepest state of dhyanam. So as a practice, yoga sadhana is timeless, is ancient. They have, over time, the texts have developed, the teachings have developed, and they diversify, they branch out with many sampradayas, speaking about the power of dhyanam, the power of concentration, and more recent terms, the power of mindfulness. But this leaves us with several questions. Mindfulness alone is not dhyana. Mindfulness is simply paying attention. But dhyanam is immersion, and an immersion that transforms us from the within to the outside. And so as we celebrate, as we honor this International Day of Dhyanam, it is also important for us not to forget that yoga is dhyanam, and that the practice of yoga cannot be confined simply to the practice of asana. Asana serves as a means to prepare the body, pranayama to prepare the breath, pratyahara to prepare us at a sensory level. All these pathways converging to eventually prepare us to be suitable vessels for embarking on a journey inwards, the antaranga sadhana of dhyanam. And so we must keep this in mind. And what better way to commemorate this International Day of Meditation than to take a look at chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, Dhyana Yoga. Krishna presents different pathways, but in Dhyana Yoga, this is the 6th chapter, he gives us many interesting insights on how dhyanam has to be done. What is the pathway? What are the prerequisites? And so on. Specifically, he speaks about the Aruruksha and the Yoga Ruda. He says in the beginning, when you are an amateur, when there is interest, the initial pathway is pathway of action by engaging in the different rituals for Chitta Shuddhi. But as we ascend, as you become a Yoga Ruda, then it becomes mandatory that shamaha, the pacification, the quietening of the mind becomes of paramount importance. Krishna further says, Uddharet atmanatmanam na atmanam avasadayet atmaiva hi atmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmanaha. Verse 5 of chapter 6, he says, it is by your own endeavors, by your own efforts that you can uplift the mind. You can take the mind to the highest potential. It is your very own mind that is your closest ally and your greatest, most deadly foe. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi stitaha ekaki yata chittatma nirashira parigraha. Speaks here about the importance of the ambience of dhyanam, the importance of staying in a solitary place, in solitude, controlling the body and the mind, free from any anticipation, expectation of the outcome, free from a need to possess, to claim. All of these are the fundamental yamas and niyamas that the Yoga Sutra highlights. How should meditation be done? Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiram asanam atmanaha na ati uchritam nati neecham chailajina kushottaram tatraikagram manakritva yata chittendriyakriyaha upavishyasane yunjyat yogam atmavishuddhaye. Be seated in a clean place, not too high, not too low, on a seat that is made up of 3 layers of cloth, of the skin of a particular kind of deer. The skin is taken after the death of the deer, and Pusha grass, the special kind of grass that is known for its antibacterial properties. Further, tatra ekagram manakritva, bring your mind to a point of one-pointedness. Ekagram, control the fluctuations of your mind and the senses. Center your mind, regulate the fluctuations of your senses, and in this manner prepare for dhyanam. So here the word asana is not about the posture. Posture becomes preparatory. The seat that we use is one that is stable, that's comfortable, that offers no hindrance. And what is highlighted is the ekagrata of the mind. Further, Krishna says, verses 13, 14, 15. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalam sthiraha sampreksha nasikagram swam dishascha anavalokayan prashantatma vigatabhihi brahmachari vrate stitaha manas sanyamya machitto yukta asita matparaha yunjan eva sadatmanam yogi niyata manasaha shantip nirvana paramam mat samstham adhigachati. He says here, Samakaya Shiram Grivam. It's very, very important to maintain this alignment of the body. The head, the neck, and the chest have to be in alignment. Essentially, the Jalandhara Bandha, the chin lowered position is highlighted. This is the most stable posture for Dhyanam. Your gaze has to be directed to the tip of the nose and not wandering around. Eyes are closed, eyeballs are gazing the tip of the nose. An alternative is usually suggested by practitioners to focus on the midpoint of the eyebrows. In the seated position, keep the mind calm, placid, serene, free of any fear, restlessness, or anxiety, practicing moderation in all bodily urges at all times, but keep the mind fixed on me. Manas samyamya machchitto. Krishna says, fix the mind upon me. Here we must always remember this me is not Krishna being narcissistic. He's speaking about me as himself as the Paratattva, the highest truth of Brahman. He says, direct your mind towards that, which is the eternal source of everything, the eternal light. Hold me as your goal. Again, I call attention to the very first pasuram of Andal, where she says, Narayanane namakke paretarvar. He shows us that goal. He is the goal. And he will give us the bounty of reaching this goal. In this manner, always keep the mind controlled, self-regulated. In this manner, you will attain to that highest Shantim Nirvana Paramam. What is that highest state of Dhyanam? What does it confer? It confers a mind that is tranquil, unwavering, unshaken by anything that happens externally. So this is the focus that we will use. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, in chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, 6.23, the text says, Tam vidyat dukkha samyogam viyogam yoga samyitam. Dakshina iduvarikum இந்த பிட்டை edit பண்ணிடுங்க. Chapter 6, verse 23 of the Bhagavad Gita states, Tam vidyat dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samyitam sa nishchayena yuktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa. It says, what is yoga? What is this? One of the most beautiful definitions of yoga is given in verse 23 of chapter 6. It says, that which breaks you, helps you to break free or liberates you or severs your contact with any source of dukkham. Know that practice to be yoga. Tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyogam. That which is the cause of your dukkham, of your anxiety, of your worry. Anything that separates you from that, consider that to be yoga. Sa nishchayena yuktavyam. We practice that with perseverance, with a mind that is fully committed to this. Yogo nirvinna chetasa. With great joy in your heart. Now, when we look at this idea, what is it that can give us this everlasting joy? Is it to be found outside or inside? And the answer appears repeatedly. This is also the refrain of the Tirupavai, of the Tiruvempavai. The call to action says that don't waste your time in the slumber, deluded by the thrall that the material objects create, that our attachment to objects, to people, to possessions create. All of these are coming because of the contact of the senses with the world. Chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkada agama apayino anityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. Krishna tells Arjuna, all of your experiences of pleasure and pain that alternate are emerging from your contact, the sensory contact with the world outside. They will come and go. None of this is permanent. Endure them. Titiksha, just go through them with a mind that is resolute. But if all that this, all that we are seeking in our momentary pursuit of happiness, if it is ephemeral, then what is it that we can anchor to? There is that light that is within. This is the light of the Atma that is eternally free from any taint of dukkha. Yoga Sutra, chapter 1, Sutra 36 says, Vishoka va jyotishmati. There is that jyoti that is perennially, eternally free of shoka. It has no grief whatsoever, because this is your true nature. But as we look outside, we are obscured to the light within. Again, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verse 18 says, Jyotisham apitat jyotihi tamasak param uchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtita. This is such a beautiful idea. It says there is this light, a light that is transcendent of all the darkness, all the tamas. It is the light that illumines all lights. It is that indeed that is our goal. Our very notion of Deva itself is of light, illumination, of luminosity, of resplendent, dazzling radiance. This is how the divine is envisioned in our culture. That alone, that light is true. It's an eternal light. That alone is the truth. That is the, you could say, the spring of all knowledge. It is that which has to be known, to be realized, to be celebrated. Where is it? Hridi sarvasya vishtitam. It is here in the heart space, in the cave of the heart. The heart is envisioned as a small, dark cave within which you have the glow of the lamp that is the Paramatma. Krishna says again in the Bhagavad Gita, again, chapter 6, he says, how should that mind be? Like a lamp that stays steady, stays firm, unwavering in a windless area, because it's the winds that can cause the flame to go out. And so within the deepest recesses of the heart burns this flame, a flame that brings great joy. Everything else will give us joy and sorrow in cycles, always changing, fluctuating states. But when we anchor ourselves to this little flame, this light that is within, that gives us strength, gives us the insight to see the world as it is, to see the perpetuality of Sukham and Dukkham, and to realize that all this that comes and goes can only be endured. But what is a permanent anchor is the anchor of the Atma that is within. This is the common teaching of all our Shastras, of all the Sampradayas. And for today's practice, specifically marking International Day of Meditation, in this Dhanur Dhya sadhana program, I'd like to focus on the light within, Vishokava Jyotishmati, this light that has to be visualized, that shines brightly, not just in our hearts, but in the hearts of all creatures, of all creation. Let us focus on this for today's practice. Simple practice where you keep your mind focused on the visual of a small flame burning bright. I'd like you to sit quietly, comfortably. Remember what Dhyana Yoga, the chapter tells us, Samakaya Shiram Grivam. So stand, try to be seated with your back straight. Make sure you're in a comfortable seated position. This is the position most suited for Dhyanam, so that there is no fluctuation, no instability. Keep your back straight, chin slightly tucked in, eyes closed. try to fix the gaze of your eyeballs here at the tip of your nose. If you find this hard, just let your eyeballs rest in the midpoint of the forehead, between your eyebrows. Breathe in silence first. Work on stilling the movement of the mind. I will just simply be giving you instructions to breathe. Inhale, hold, exhale, right? I'm not giving you a number, just inhale to your capacity, hold briefly, exhale. Keep your attention firmly fixed on the breath. Keep your gaze focused here. Try not to let your eyeballs move. Try to maintain this stable, seated posture with the spine erect. Inhale. Hold. Breathe out slowly. Inhale. Hold your breath. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. For a few minutes, allow yourself to be fully cognizant of all that's happening around you. You could open your eyes, look around you, see what your eyes are drawn to, what are the sounds that you hear, what do you sense on your skin? Are there any smells that come to you? Just be open, just watch what the senses have to give you without an attempt to control, to direct. Just observe. Observe the feelings that come up in your mind just for a few minutes. Just let your mind go outward. Our capacity to interact with the world around us, that we are able to perceive through the senses, is also because of this inner light, the light of the Atma, that illumines the mind, illumines the senses, and causes them to move out in the world So just for a few minutes, just be aware of what information the senses are bringing to you. Now, slowly rein your senses in, little by little. Just slowly shut your eyes. Whatever you're hearing, sensing, smelling, there might be any taste on your tongue, whatever it is, slowly withdraw your mind from all of this. Draw the mind inwards. Gently let go of the outer world. Bring your attention to rest on the space of the heart. Envision this as a small cave. This is the Daharakasha. Small, tiny cave in the middle of your chest. Just bring the attention there. In the middle of this cave, visualize a small, bright, incandescent flame of light. Shining steadily, the flame burns steadily, unwaveringly, bright, filled with hope, love, compassion, knowledge. Reiterate, draw your attention from the outside to within. This is Vishokava Jyotishma. Just visualize this tiny cave lit up by the light of this strong, unyielding, unwavering little flame of radiance. Hold that visual in your mind. Now, I'd like you to visualize this flame burning, shining brightly, and its light spreading beyond this cave. It's not just lighting up this cave. Visualize this light spread in concentric circles, little by little, to every part of the peripheral body, encompassing you in a glow of light. There's a tiny flame in the center, sending out a radiance that surrounds you, that encircles you, and holds you in its protective encircling, bringing warmth, light, love, compassion, healing, energy, whatever it is, because this is the source of all abundance, of all wealth. So Just visualize the light alone spreading. The flame burns strongly, but allow that light to spread further, 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 surrounding you in its very protective, compassionate hold. Now, I will chant. Please repeat the chant as a reaffirmation. I am light. Just keep this visual of this tiny flame, not flickering the slightest, steady. This is the source of an eternal ananda that offers us serenity, tranquility, that fills us and is not subject to the vagaries of sukha and dukkha in our life. Simply feel that hold you, enrich you, strengthen you. Please repeat after me. Jyotiraham 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 Take a few deep breaths. Offer your gratitude to this light that shines inside of you, that enlivens you. It gives you the gift of life itself. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for joining me again, day 6 of the Margashirsha series, Dhanur Dhya Sadhana. We meet again tomorrow, same time. Thank you. Namaste.